The ultimate insult is to be spared. Benny's theory, if I understood it through all the screaming, was that Mr. House stashed some kind of ultimate weapon down there. A gigantic robot to stomp us all to death. Who cares? Whatever it is, House built it. So I want it destroyed. How do I put this basically enough? It's a philosophical theory, the kind you might encounter if you took time to read some books. The fundamental premise is to envision history as a sequence of dialectical conflicts. Each dialectic begins with a proposition, a thesis, which inherently contains or creates its opposite, an antithesis. Thesis and antithesis. The conflict is inevitable, but the resolution of the conflict yields something new, a synthesis, eliminating the flaws in each, leaving behind common elements and ideas. The bombs wiped the slate clean. Human civilization descended to a level of ignorance that effectively set our cultural progress back to zero. The NCR has all the problems of the ancient Roman Republic: extreme bureaucracy, corruption, extensive senatorial infighting. Just as with the ancient Republic, it is natural that a military force should conquer and transform the NCR into a military dictatorship. Thesis and antithesis. The Colorado River is my Rubicon. The NCR Council will be eradicated, but the new synthesis will change the Legion as well, from a basically nomadic army to a standing military force that protects its citizens and the power of its dictator. When I was 20, the followers sent me east to Grand Canyon. It was my first expedition, just me and a physician named Calhoun. As an anthropologist and linguist, my assignment was to learn the dialects of the Grand Canyon tribes. What a fucking waste of time. If you think it's worthwhile to make smart people learn how to talk like backward savages, you're a follower of the apocalypse, or an idiot. Anyway, we met up with a Mormon missionary who already knew a bunch of dialects, Joshua Graham. He was supposed to teach me, but before that went too far, the Blackfoot tribe captured us to hold us for ransom. They were a backward bunch, but the real problem was they didn't know how to fight. The Blackfoot were at war with 7 other tribes, each just as pissant as they were. But outnumbered like that, they weren't going to last long. It's one thing to be taken hostage, another to be lashed to a sinking ship. So over Calhoun's objections, I decided to take certain steps. I taught them how to use the guns they already had, how to strip and clean them, how to breathe when pulling a trigger, how to reload ammunition. They looked at me like I was some kind of a sorcerer. So I taught them how to make explosives and started drilling them on small unit tactics. If there's anything I learned as a follower of the apocalypse, it's that there's a lot of good information in old books. Divide et impera, divide and conquer. I led the Blackfoot against the Ridgers, their weakest enemy. When they refused to surrender, I ordered every man, woman, and child killed. When next we surrounded the Kaibabs, and they likewise refused. This was new for the tribes, you see. They played at war, raiding each other, a little rape and pillage here, a little ransoming there. I showed them total warfare. Like I said, there's a lot you can learn from old books. I took one of their envoys to the Ridgers' village and showed him the corpse piles. Kaibabs joined me, and the Fredonians after that. All the pissant tribes with names that should be forgotten. I knew from the start I'd need to eradicate this plague of tribal identities, replacing them with a monolithic culture, a uniform identity. So that's what I did once my confederation of tribes was large enough. I crowned myself Caesar and created a single great tribe, my legion. I sent Calhoun, the follower captured with me, back west with a message that I should not be interfered with. Joshua Graham, the Mormon interpreter, stayed with me and served as my first legatus. That's right. Decades of warfare, absorbing lesser tribes, gathering power, forging the dross into a vast, razor-sharp scythe. My legion's expansion has never ceased. Much of the Utah and Colorado and all of Arizona and New Mexico are mine. We have cities of our own, but nothing compared to Vegas. Finally, my legion will have its Rome. Whatever I require, infiltration, assassination, dramatic atrocities to break the spirit of the enemy, etc. They're mentally flexible. They operate behind enemy lines for extended periods, imitating the enemy's customs without becoming sullied. In all these things, Wolpus is a master. I know he's dead. I know he's no longer a factor. That's all I need to know. Losers don't matter in the history books. He's a fucking footnote. Lucius has been the head of my guard for 5 years now. He was a subordinate guard for 8 before that. No invitee has dared to challenge him yet. Maybe it's an issue of respect. He is getting on in years. It'll frighten them. If I can reach out and kill whomever I choose, then they know the only reason they're alive is I haven't tried yet. You have to understand that Kimball is a symbol. Without him, there would be no NCR occupation of the Mojave. He mustered the troops, as many as his Senate would allow, and sent them in. All the right reasons, done all the wrong ways. Any invasion by a democracy is a half measure. When Kimball dies, the NCR will recoil from the Mojave and from his legacy. By the time they recover and try to strike back, I'll be invading them. The Neus is savage. Savagely loyal, too, but only to me. He has no love for my legion. But this has its uses. He has no attachment to his men, no compunction about battlefield losses. All he cares about is destroying the enemy. When another legatus or a centurion fails to achieve results, I send Linnaeus to make things right. His first step is to beat the failed commander to death in front of his assembled troops. Then he orders the ritual of decimatio. It means decimation. But in ancient Rome, the word had a very specific meaning, a punishment for cowardice. The legionaries are lined up in ranks. Every 10th man steps forward and is beaten to death by his brothers. It instills a certain robust obedience. Yes, this time my legionaries will be more frightened of the commander behind them than the enemy before them. There will be no failure this time, no retreat, no years of gathering slaves and resources for another assault. With Linnaeus to drive the legion forward, the dam will be taken. It will be our bridgehead across the Colorado. It's not going to happen again, that's all I have to say about it. And I've heard it's a bad idea to tempt the wrath of Caesar. Change the subject. Because the council didn't dare oppose her. She was too popular. She had the people's love. Ever since losing its queen, the NCR has been weaker, more diffuse. Democracy has been its weakness, not its strength. So things ran smoothly, more or less. And as soon as she was gone, as soon as there really could be democracy, what happened then? Of course, the most powerful my legion has faced. Also the first to which I am ideologically opposed. Until now, every tribe I've conquered has been so backwards and stunted, enslavement has been a gift bestowed upon them. My conquest of the Mojave will be a glorious triumph, marking the transition of the Legion from a basically nomadic tribe to a genuine empire. Just as my namesake campaigned in Gaul before he crossed the Rubicon, so have I campaigned and will cross the Colorado. I know he's a coward, hiding behind an army of robots ensconced in that tower of his like a wizard in one of those Grognak comic books. Some say he's a man, others a machine. I don't care. He's in the way. I've analyzed the region's tribe to determine how they might be useful. I may tell you more at a later time, if it suits me. Here, this document has clear instructions on what to do next. Here, these written orders make it plain. These written orders will tell you what to do next. See Wolpes for details about your next mission. For further instructions, see Wolpes. Go see Wolpes. He'll brief you. There were tales once of a cannibal tribe near Vegas, one that hid itself in a cavern far below ground, hunting men as prey above. The scouts I occasionally sent west many years ago reported these tales, but never had contact. Well, except the ones who went missing, perhaps. There are rumors that the White Gloves might be this lost tribe. Maybe you can help them find themselves. Go see Lucius for details about your next mission. For further instructions, see Lucius. Go see Lucius. He'll brief you. I used Imperial Rome as the model for my legion precisely because it was so foreign, so alien. I'd seen what had become of the NCR's attempts to emulate the culture of pre-war America, the infighting, the corruption. It dedicated its citizens to something higher than themselves, to the idea of Rome itself. In Rome, I found a template for a society equal to the challenges of the post-apocalyptic world, a society that could and would survive. Rome was a highly militarized autocracy that effectively integrated the foreign cultures it conquered, a society that could prevent mankind from fracturing and destroying itself in this new world by establishing a new Pax Romana. It means a nationalist, imperialist, totalitarian, homogeneous culture that obliterates the identity of every group it conquers. Long-term stability at all cost. The individual has no value beyond his utility to the state, whether as an instrument of war or production. No, I'll destroy it because it's inevitable that it be destroyed. It's Hegelian dialectics, not personal animosity. I'll hand it to that piece of shit. He was determined. He used some kind of old-world stealth device to get across the river in a Legion boat. Seems the device ran out of juice once he got here, but he was dressed like a legionary. He was caught just outside the weather station. See, thing is, he didn't change his hairstyle. To go to all that effort and fail because you're too vain to mush your hair. Ironically, I was born a profligate myself, a citizen of the NCR. My family lived not far from the Great Boneyard. After raiders killed my father, my mother sought the followers' protection. I was 2 years old. She found work at their library, cooking and cleaning. I learned how to read, and soon I was taking courses, free of charge. Oh, yes, raised in that tradition. And the teaching stuck. I was taught it was my responsibility to bring the torch of knowledge to the wastes. I may have taken the torch part more literally than they intended. Do you want my opinion as a former citizen or future conqueror? Actually, my opinion's the same either way. As a young man, I was taught to venerate President Tandy of Shady Sands, the founding mother of the new California Republic. Did you know her presidency lasted 52 years? And that her father, Aradesh, was the Republic's first president? Does that sound like a democracy to you? Or a hereditary dictatorship? When I command you to complete a mission, you will complete it, or you should die in the attempt. You lost me a great opportunity to deal a blow to the profligate's morale. If not for the service you've rendered unto me, I'd have you crucified. I will overlook this error, but only because I think you can still be useful. And you think the value of their attack on Helios, the chaos it will sow behind the profligate's lines, is worth letting them live? All right, let it be so. The Brotherhood will have to be dealt with eventually, but for the moment, they live to serve. And you think they'll stop at that? How long before they attack the dam or Vegas? The risks outweigh the rewards. Go back to their bunker and finish the job. All right, that's a start. But now you have to convince them to support my Legion. Tell them they'll be allowed to continue practicing their dietary habits without interruption. They can eat a portion of what they conquer. Good. Your first challenge will be to reach their settlement without getting blown up. After that, should be easy. I warned you about the price of disobedience. I guess you weren't listening. Praetorians, kill this nuisance. Praetorians, to arms! Is that so? Is it any wonder my Legion has so little love for you? So tell me this, because I really want to know. I am feared, with good reason. But you, of all people, dare to come here and stand before me, the mighty Caesar. What were you thinking? You do know why I wanted to meet you, right? A man nearly kills you, so you track him across the breadth of the Mojave. You arrive on the strip and waltz into the Lucky 38 like someone left you a key under the doormat. You assassinate the head of the chairman in his own casino and get away with it. You visit the tops, and next thing you know, the head of the chairman is fleeing the strip like a whimpering little pup. Mission accomplished, asshole. I never would have suspected a thing if you hadn't told me. But now I'll have to have you killed. Understand this. From this moment forward, any other crimes will be punished by death. No exceptions. I will have you hacked into pieces by my Praetorians for my amusement. Understand? Now, getting back to business. Come back when you have news about the boomers. Talk to Benny on your way out. He knows I'm going to let you decide how he dies. Maybe you want to remind him. So go to the building and take this fucking platinum chip with you. My legionaries will meet you there, with your weapons and equipment. What did you just say? Vulpes inculta. The best of my frumentari is dead. All the bribes I sent to the Omertas ended up buying me nothing. The great Khans aren't exactly clamoring to fight for my legion now. The garrison I established at Nelson has been wiped out. Years of meticulous scheming to place a mole at Camp McCarran. Wasted. The kings of Freeside are cooperating with the NCR now, which frees up soldiers to defend the dam. You even disrupted a promising weapons deal with the Van Graffs. Then something happens to Mr. House's robot, some kind of military upgrade. But the topper, the coup de grace, Mr. House dies while you're visiting him at the Lucky 38. When you set your mind to something, you get results. I like that. You need to work on your bloodthirst. We won't speak again until Benny is dead. Walk away if you want, but if you do, he's going up on a cross. You're still making a choice. Consider it the first of many bestowments. What's wrong with you? This man shot you, stole from you, left you in the desert to die. Answer the question. Goodbye. He was brought before me along with the platinum chip. That's how I knew he wasn't some kind of profligate infiltrator. Benny tried to sell me a story, but Lucius has a way of coaxing the truth out of captives. Everything just comes spilling out. Then be quick about it. Good. In hoc signo torus vinces. Report to Legatus Lanius immediately. He'll brief you on the plan of battle. Come back victorious. Or don't come back. I had him tended to. He was maimed, most of his face torn off. It was days before he regained consciousness. When he did, I went to his bedside and showed him the helmet I'd had forged to cover his face. I said he could have it if he'd fight for me. He accepted, on condition that he be allowed to kill the surviving males of his tribe. I said, make it the adult males, and you have a deal. He killed 15 before they brought him down. He didn't die, obviously. Greed runs rampant. The government is corrupt, accepting bribes from Brahmin barons and landowners to the detriment of citizens. The NCR is a loose conglomerate of individuals looking out for themselves. It's lost virtue. No one cares about the collective, the greater good. It's not built to last. I'm just hastening the inevitable. It's called an autodoc. As the name suggests, it's an automated physician, more or less. He can treat broken bones, cuts, punctures, scrapes. Sometimes I bestow its use upon someone I favor. Makes for a powerful gift in a culture that forbids painkillers and is largely ignorant of medical science. Fuck this! I'm going to lie down. Come back later. Tomorrow! Never this bad before. What's it look like, you asshole? Let me get to my chair. I said, let me get to my chair. When I command you to complete a mission, you will complete it, or you should die in the attempt. I will overlook this error, but only because I think you can still be useful. Good. Don't know what kind of security he has inside the Lucky 38, but if you can find a way of catching him off guard, do so. I don't have to explain the reasoning behind my commands. I just give them, and you do them. That said, every once in a while I hear something so ignorant I have to respond. This is one of those times. The profligates' morale is in the shitter. They've occupied the Mojave for years, getting picked off one by one. They were told it'd be easy. They keep being told that victory is right around the corner, that Vegas will roll over, become the sixth state of their little union. It's President Kimball who's been telling them that. When he dies, the enormity of his lies will come crashing down, the punchline to a bad joke. If I say the Brotherhood should be destroyed, it's necessary. My legion can win a fight against the Brotherhood of Steel, but it would be costly. Your job is to make sure there's no Brotherhood for us to fight. Is that right? You are good, aren't you? If the boomers are out of the picture, I can focus on other preparations. But not without first rewarding your initiative. Now, moving on. Oh, I'll give you the platinum chip, and then you'll use it exactly like I tell you to. What else, then? A perfectly satisfactory way of resolving the threat they posed. It's impressive that you made it through their barrage. Now, as for your next assignment, I have eyes and ears everywhere. It behooves me not to invade the West blind and deaf. It hasn't been hard to track your progress. It's not as though you've been keeping a low profile. Vulpes is the best of my frumentari. a remarkable individual from an unremarkable tribe south of the Utah. He was brought into the Legion as a boy, survived training, fought well enough as a legionary to be promoted to the rank of decanus. Then in battle against an unimportant tribe, he broke ranks and led his contubernium through a hole in their defenses to capture its chieftain. Well, his centurion wanted him crucified for disobedience, so I made him a frumentari. I wouldn't trust Benny to lick my boots clean. This one falls to you. So what you're telling me is you're useless. You have no ability to influence events, so I'm forced to work around your incompetence. Try to do better with your next assignment. I like the servile attitude. Keep it up. Good. Make sure they help the Legion when the time comes. As for your next assignment, months spent feeding the Omertas bribes, nursing their betrayal, all for nothing. Any other crimes? We'll deal with Benny when the time comes. In the meantime, we'll talk about the platinum chip when the time comes. In the meantime, Benny is my prisoner. You don't deal with him unless you've dealt with me. Don't worry. You'll get the platinum chip he was carrying, and then you'll use it like I tell you to. Praetorians, to me! Because he complicates the equation of force. He's a free agent, an unpredictable element. When he sees the profligates losing this battle, however, he might throw his support behind them. Except he won't, because he'll be dead. I'm sure he's trying to sit out this battle, just as he did 4 years ago, hoping the Legion and the profligates will wipe each other out. And so you wiped out the garrison I placed at Nelson? That strategically vital garrison? What else? You've been resourceful in the past. Why are you a failure now? You'd best step up your performance with this next assignment. The time is fast approaching when my Legion will assault the Great Dam and invade the West. Before that happens, I want Mr. House knocked out of the game. A quick 1-2 punch, with you doing the punching. Before that happens, I want Mr. House erased from the picture. Not just the man you killed, but what he left behind, his legacy. Then get to it. That's right. Under normal circumstances, the reason it wouldn't happen again is that you'd be crucified, or worse. Only in light of the extraordinary service you've rendered unto me am I going to overlook this failure. Bear in mind how much you have to make up for, how much you have to prove yourself in your next task. Culture is an odd thing. Sometimes a tribe grows tired of its identity, grabs for an opportunity to reimagine itself. The tribe becomes its own antithesis. Everything flips to the opposite polarity. Dialectics tells us that this can't last. There has to be a synthesis, the final sorting out. Oh, you're going to defy me? You spread word of the massacre of Nipton, just like Wulpez asked you. Beams of light shot down from the sky over Helios 1, killing who knows how many profligate troops. Silas the Centurion, who let himself get captured, died at McCarran before he could reveal sensitive information. You freed the Centurion Silas from McCarran so that he might be punished for his cowardice. The monorail that the profligates rode from McCarran to the Strip has been destroyed. You turned Camp Forlorn Hope into a mass grave. Chief Hanlon, a nemesis of my Legion, died the humiliating death he deserved. In Boulder City, you let the renegade cons go free, but left NCR troopers gurgling on the ground, drowning in their own blood. A number of NCR ranger stations have been wiped off the face of the Mojave, thanks to you. I get it. We share a common enemy. And now you come before the mighty Kaiser. To what? Offer your services? Yes, but then I'd have to kill them. I don't know, and I don't like not knowing. I know Mr. House built it. I'm thinking it's probably some kind of weapon that he can't activate from a distance. You should be listening. That's what you should be doing. A man of potential, held back by the craven political context he inhabits. You realize he was a general. The hero of the Mojave, they called him. A title he earned by extirpating lesser tribes that dared attack NCR citizens. His responses were swift and draconian. President Tandy, the founding mother, coddled hostile tribes. But her successors were less naive, so they gave Kimball free rein. And after a respectable military career, what does he do? Become a politician. But he did so by election. What better way to stunt the growth of leaders, not to mention whole cultures? A leader shouldn't have to kowtow to those who serve him. With so much energy wasted on those below, how is he ever to move forward? Had he taken the government by force, used his army to stage a coup, things would be very different. I'll just have to do it for him. My praetorians embody the martial ideals of my legion. Each one of them has done enough conquering and killing to deserve the rank of centurion. Instead, I invited them to join my guard. So the invitee chooses whichever current guard he thinks is weakest and challenges him. The fight is to the death. It keeps them from getting complacent. I expect results sooner rather than later. Then you'll have to be extraordinarily persuasive. Or kill them. Their leaders, at least. Get to it, will you? You're wasting my time. Do you have any idea how much effort it took to place a mole at Camp McCarran? What else have you done? The boomers settled at the old air base northeast of Vegas many years ago. No one knows exactly how long it's been. It may be that no one's traded with them or even spoken to them that entire time. If so, they're sitting on one hell of a stockpile of ammunition. My scouts have seen people moving around the base. The perimeter's guarded, with spotters and towers directing the artillery fire. They must have extraordinary vision. Some of my scouts were targeted at extreme distances. So no, I can't tell you what to expect inside the base. No one's been inside it, except them. Linnaeus is the greatest of my battlefield commanders. Some might call him a great man, but I'm not sure he qualifies. Once, he was the greatest warrior of the Hydebarks, a tribe of the Arizona. Maniacal in battle. Sometimes he'd ambush Legion patrols by himself. When after several months we found and surrounded the Hydebarks camp, their chieftain raised a banner of surrender. The warrior, who was not yet Linnaeus, went insane with rage. He struck down his chieftain and attacked his own tribe. Good. It will be valuable to have allies on the Strip when Hoover Dam is taken. Now, as for your next assignment, maybe I should have you struck blind so my face is the last sight you ever behold. Look, weeks of effort to convince those miserable cons to join the Legion. Ruined. Any other crimes? The worst impulses of mankind, concentrated in one insane, backward tribe. The Brotherhood seems to have formed not long after the Great Atomic War. It's hard to know. They care little for history. Some of the Brotherhood scribes we captured further east didn't even know the name of their founder, Roger Maxson. They like to pretty up their mission with trappings of chivalry. But the truth is they're hoarders. They hoard technology. It's been 200 years, and they still have the mentality of scavengers. They say they're preserving these technologies, but for what? They have no vision. They offer no future. They're a dead end. Sure, their hatred of the NCR would seem to qualify them for use as proxies. But then, what do you do with them? Each paladin is quite powerful. I'd have to be convinced that present benefits outweighed future costs. You don't think very far ahead, do you? Linnaeus will be waiting for you. Your arrival will signal to him that it's time to launch the attack. As for what to expect, it's going to be the greatest battle and victory mankind has seen since it almost wiped itself off the face of the earth. Tactically, it's simple. Kill and kill some more. I may have a few surprises in store for the NCR, but that won't concern you. They'll be of no use to my Legion then. You squandered a potentially valuable resource. Do better with your next assignment, or there will be trouble. Mark my words, you piece of shit. This is the last time you will ever refuse to perform an order I've given you. If you meant what you said, you best be on your way, and at good speed. And forget all that I could have given you. If you ever disobey me again, I will order my praetorians to hack you to death with their machetes for my entertainment. That's right, you should be going, because you have work to do. And you fell for that? Really? Because I'm going to have you killed now. Relax. I'm fucking with you. The leader of the tribe is a woman named Marjorie. My understanding is that she strongly opposes a reversion to cannibalism. If she's intractable, you might find Mortimer, her second-in-command, more flexible. Now take the platinum chip, go down to that bunker or whatever it is, and destroy whatever gizmo-happy Brahmin shit you find. I'm not asking you to do this. I'm telling you. And just in case you're thinking of slipping away, now that you've finally got that platinum chip in your hands, go ahead, try that. and I'll have you hunted down and your head mounted on a pole. Now get to it. Wale. I'm not asking you to do this, I'm telling you. Now take the platinum chip, go down to that bunker or whatever it is, and destroy whatever gizmo-happy Brahmin shit you find. Now get to it. Wale. Yeah, it does. So if you can't help me, who can? Then gather those items together and hurry back to perform the operation. I don't know how long I've got. Then gather the tools you need and study up on your medical skills. When you're confident you can perform the operation, hurry back. I don't know how long I've got. I'm not familiar with that condition. Is it treatable? There's nothing moderate about the severity of this. And if you're going to make up names for diseases, come up with good ones. If you can't help me, who can? I appreciate your concern, but I'm in excellent health. And we have other matters to discuss. Only when you're around. I said take care of the Brotherhood. Then we talk. Maybe. Wale. It's nothing. Just tired, that's all. Look for the Brotherhood's bunker around, Hidden Valley. My scouts saw some things. I'm going to bed. We'll talk later. A week, maybe 2. It doesn't matter. Fuck off. Come back when you know more about the White Glove Society. Good. 2 of my scouts have reported seeing patrols of men in power armor near Hidden Valley. Begin your search there. You destroyed the Brotherhood's bunker. Very well. I'll trust your word and reward you as though you wreaked this destruction at my behest. Of course, if the Brotherhood should suddenly rise up to oppose my rule, you will be held responsible. Now, moving on. Then get yourself back there and get it done. I want you to destroy whatever you find in there. And then I want you to come back here and tell me about it. One of my frumentaria set up camp near Hoover Dam. His name is Cato Hostilius. That's what I like to hear. Go to him. He'll have further instructions. Is that so? You are good, aren't you? If the boomers will toe the line, I can focus on other preparations. But not without first rewarding your initiative. Now, moving on. Very well. This latest victory brings to a close my efforts to reshape the power balance of the Mojave. And not a minute too soon. The profligates still hate me more than they hate you, I think. But I've been at this longer than you have. That's not an idea to be put in circulation. If mankind's going to survive this moment in history, it needs warriors, not gadgets. You don't get it, do you? The weapons I wield are forged from blood, flesh, sinew, bone. Mortal stuff. Fragile, even. And yet my legion obeys me even unto death. Why? Because they live to serve the greater good, and they know of no alternatives. House's machines, his technologies. What do they propose? The possibility of victory without sacrifice, no blood spilled, just rivets. I was saying that I planned to ask you to forge an alliance with them, but you killed their leaders. By the time the White Gloves sort themselves out, the battle for Hoover Dam will have come and gone. So on to the next matter at hand. It's called an autodoc. As the name suggests, it's an automated physician, more or less. It can treat broken bones, cuts, punctures, scrapes. Sometimes I bestow its use upon someone I favor. Makes for a powerful gift in a culture that forbids painkillers and is largely ignorant of medical science. Fuck this! I'm going to lie down. Come back later. Tomorrow! Disturb me again, and I'll have you killed. And what would that be? And where is this arcade? You can search the vaults, but every autodoc my legion has run across has been stripped for parts long before we found it. It's been said that the autodocs were standard equipment in the underground vaults where mankind survived when the bombs fell centuries ago. Some of my scouts did report an abandoned vault near Nellis Air Force Base. Overrun by ghouls, they said. Maybe the infestation has been there long enough to keep scavengers out. Why don't you go and see? I figured as much. Congratulations. You just became my personal physician. Do you have what you need to treat my condition? Don't. Just leave it alone. I'm fine. Now, what was I saying? Right. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. The Brotherhood. Them. I get headaches every once in a while. So what? Anyway, we have other matters to discuss. I don't know. There have been a couple. I'm not sure. What was I saying? That That's right, the Brotherhood. Do that, and try not to take too long. All right, just leave him outside the tent when you return. If he cures my condition, I'll see to it that your reward is several times his value. Be on your way, then, and try not to take too long. Never this bad before. What's it look like, you asshole? Then go find some proper surgical tools. The medications from a doctor's bag might come in handy, too. I'll make sure you're allowed to bring the necessary medications into the camp. Hurry back. I don't know how long I've got. If you think this is funny, you should give crucifixion a try. Now that's hilarious. If you can't help me, who can? Take care of the Brotherhood. Maybe then we can have a conversation. I'll have my guards take him captive. If he cures my condition, I'll see to it that your reward is several times his value. It's never had a functional diagnostic scanning module. Without that, it's useless for surgery. Return to me when you've destroyed the Brotherhood of Steel. Come back when you've destroyed whatever you find down in that bunker. Complete your mission, then return to me. Wale. Come back when you know more about the White Glove Society. Return to me when you've destroyed the Brotherhood of Steel. Come back when you've destroyed whatever you find down in that bunker. Complete your mission, then return to me. Wale. Come back when you have news about the boomers. Until Mr. House has been dealt with, you and I have nothing to talk about. Do you have any idea how much effort it took to place a mole at McCarran who could plant that bomb on the monorail? The one you defused? There are rewards for doing as I command. Today your reward is vengeance. You get to decide how Benny dies. Go to Benny. Let him know what you've decided. My Praetorians will perform the execution, unless you want to perform it yourself. I'm sure you found Benny's demise pleasing. The destruction of an enemy? There are few things more satisfying. You know everything you need to know. Be on your way. Even on the brink of the final battle, you have questions. What did you want to know? What else did you want to know? With Mr. House out of the way, I can focus on smoothing out a few lingering complications elsewhere in the Mojave. First up are the boomers of Nellis Air Force Base, a tribe so reclusive it lobs artillery shells at anyone who comes near their settlement. I want you to offer them an alliance with my legion. My terms are simple. Target their guns against the NCR side of the dam when I assault it, and they can keep their freedom. If you find they aren't amenable to this offer, destroy them. Now that same sigil is on the platinum chip Benny was carrying when we captured him. Isn't that interesting? Now that same sigil is on the platinum chip you were carrying. Isn't that interesting? The garrison I placed at Nelson served a vital strategic function. Did you think you could wipe it out and I wouldn't find out? In the future, if I become aware that you've committed other crimes, I'll have my Praetorians butcher you before my eyes. Allow me to make this clear. Because you've been of service to me, I will forgive your crimes against my legion this one time. If you've committed any other crimes, this is the time to confess them, because after today there will be no forgiveness. I warned you about this. Praetorians, slaughter this degenerate. You're the courier who caused so much trouble for my legion, and yet you dare come before me. So I finally get to meet the courier who's caused so much trouble for the new California Republic. So I finally get to meet the courier who's accomplished so much in so little time. That's why I summoned you here, right? I mean, a man nearly kills you, and your response is to track him across the breadth of the Mojave? I've read Mr. House's obituary. Had a high opinion of himself, didn't he? The question is, are you ready to get started? We have nothing to discuss until you've dealt with Benny. I understand that you freed Silas before he could talk. I approve. Silas dishonored himself when he let himself be captured, and he'll pay the price for that. But the NCR didn't learn anything valuable. Even with the White Glove Society to deal with, you have questions. Even with a president to kill, you have questions. All right, let's state the obvious. There's something wrong with me. The headaches started a couple of months ago. They weren't too bad at first, but now they come frequently and they're debilitating. For the past 2 weeks, my left leg has been dragging. It's stiffer, hard to move. And you've seen me blank out. Lucia says I stare into space, blink a few times, then keep talking like nothing happened. So what's the diagnosis? I thank you for saving my life. Arcade will be a fine addition to my retinue. I thank you for saving my life. The autodoc module you recovered did the trick. It's reached me that you killed Silas before he could talk. I approve. I want you to join me in my tent. You and I are going to have a private conversation. I want you to destroy the Mojave chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel. It's not a full-strength chapter, mind you. The profligates... You want to die? Fine. Praetorians! Kill this asshole. The time for battle will soon be upon us. Legatus Linnaeus draws nigh. When he arrives, my legion will assault Hoover Dam. In the meantime, the profligates have prepared a welcome gift for us. The president of the NCR intends to visit Hoover Dam. You dispatched President Kimball with real skill. Right under their noses, too. What a humiliation. Why did you not attack President Kimball? Even with the boomers to deal with, you have questions? I think the platinum chip opens those doors. Doors that can't be pried open, or drilled open, or blasted open. Because all that, I tried. Even more interesting, there's a slot about the same size as the chip on the console that opens the hatch. So you know what I think? We'll talk again when you've destroyed whatever is down in that bunker. Not before. I felt the ground shake a while ago. I'll take that as a sign you've got the job done. Let's press on, shall we? As I was telling you before, I want Mr. House out of the picture. You have an interest in his death, too. If he knows that you destroyed his gadgets beneath the fort, he will strike back. You know where to find him. How he dies, I leave up to you. Weeks were spent convincing the great Khans to join the Legion. But you've ruined all that, haven't you? Have you brought news of the boomers? I would have asked you to forge an alliance with the White Glove Society, but you've already killed its leader. So instead... God damn it! I want you to forge an alliance between Caesar's Legion and the White Glove Society. They used to be cannibals. I expect that information can be used to manipulate them. Go to... God damn it! The last time we met, I believe we were talking about the White Glove Society. President Kimball was there on the dam right before you, and yet he lives. How did you fuck this up? My forces are in a position to assault the dam. Legatus Linnaeus has assumed command. Are you ready to go to him? To tell him to begin the assault? Even with the Brotherhood to deal with, you have questions? I thank you for saving my life. You're a warrior and a healer, a rare combination. I spent months feeding the Omertas bribes, nursing their betrayal, and you've ruined all that. I trust this payment is adequate compensation for your troubles. Now, lest we grow sentimental here, down the hill at the west edge of camp is an old building. It was here when the fort was taken in 2277. Inside the building is a hatch, and inside that hatch are two steel doors that bear the sigil of the Lucky 38 Casino. God damn it, go away! Come back when I've had some sleep. I warned you not to bother me! Praetorians, kill this asshole! Have you been successful in your efforts to recruit the White Glove Society? If you interfere with me getting some sleep again, I'm going to have you killed. We will talk later. Has the Brotherhood been destroyed? One of our agents successfully assassinated the NCR president. A tribe called the Great Khans has joined us. They better be good fighters. I thought I heard something. You won't escape me. Show yourself and I may let you live. There you are. Fool. I knew it. Must have been nothing. Nothing here. I guess it was nothing. You'll pay for that. Damn you! Degenerate! Scatter! Displace! You can't hide from me! You won't escape me! I'll find you, degenerate! That's it, run away! Coward! Keep fighting! Press on! Die, profligate! Death to the Legion's enemies! For the Legion! Explosive brothers! Look out, brothers! Fall back! Run, brothers! Run! Leave while you still can. Move along or suffer the consequences. You don't belong here. You won't escape me. Skulking like a coward will not save you. I will find you. You're mine! I see you! I found you! I'll kill them if they come back. It seems they ran off. I scared them away. No match for the Legion. Retribution! Vengeance! Reprisal! A fair kill. One more to feed the worms. The weak must die. What was that? I heard something. Awe, Someone there? Another kill to my name! Die, coward! Death to profligates! Put that away! Mind your weapon! You think I don't see that? Don't tempt me. I see what you're doing. Grenade! Explosive! You have no honor. You debase yourself. Honorless thief!